At least 3 people, including a child, were killed and many fear trapped when an illegally operated coal mine collapsed near Dhanbad in Jharkhand. While efforts were on through the day to pull out those who were trapped, 5 people were rushed to a nearby hospital. 3 among them, a child, a woman and a 25-year-old man, were declared dead. Illegal mining is a widespread problem in this area where only larger mines operate.
A disaster at the periphery of this abandoned coal mine in Jharkhand's Dhanbad. After portions of this rock collapsed on a group of people carrying out illegal mining operations inside. Illegal mines like this one are a common sight across Dhanbad and other areas that form Jharkhand's coal belt. But are fraught with danger. Most illegal mining takes place under extremely unsafe conditions and is often done by the poorest of the poor, who work barehanded in death traps like this one.
माइंस वाले को जाकर अभी हम लोग बोले तो माइंस बंद किया गया है और इस पे हम यही कार्रवाई करने का चाहते हैं प्रशासन से। यहाँ के जितने भी कोयला का चोर है जो रोज तस्लीली करते हैं उस पे अविलंब FIR दर्ज हो। FIR दर्ज नहीं होगा तो हम लोग रोड से लेकर थाना तक जान पड़ेंगे।
हमारा OP अंतर्गत पड़ता है ये, और जैसा कि लग रहा है कि अवैध उत्खनन लोग कर रहा है यहाँ पर, उससे अभी भराई कराया गया है। अभी जांच में है, हम लोग जांच करके आप लोग को स्पष्ट कर देंगे।
The first responders to the scene were local residents who pulled out people from the debris and rushed them to hospital. With Alok Pandey, Osama Shab, NDTV.
Let's turn our attention now to the gruesome Mumbai murder. Saraswati Vaidya and Manoj Sane, the man accused of killing her, chopping up her body and boiling parts of it in their Mumbai home, were married, as per the police. New details have emerged on the gruesome murders after the sisters reached the police station and were questioned by the police.
A shocking new twist to the Shraddha Walkar-like murder case near Mumbai. The police today claimed the victim, Saraswati Vaidya, and the accused, Manoj Sane, were married and had hidden their marriage due to their age gap. Saraswati was 32, Manoj is 56. The police said Saraswati used to tell people that Manoj was her maternal uncle and he owned a cloth mill in Mumbai.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ऐसा पता चला कि इन्होंने शादी किया था और बहनों को भी बताया था कि ऐसे हमने शादी किया है, बल्कि इनकी एज डिफरेंस का गैप की वजह से ये किसी को मतलब बाहर ऐसा खुल के नहीं कभी बताया कि हमने इन लोगों ने शादी किया था और ये एक मंदिर में शादी किया था, ये भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन में रिवील हुआ है।
Saraswati was in touch with her 4 sisters, 3 of whom were questioned today by the police. Police sources told NDTV, Saraswati grew up at an ashram in the Ahmednagar district. Her mother died early and the father abandoned the children. She lived with her sisters for a few years before moving to Mumbai, where she met her alleged killer at a ration shop in Borivali. The two became friends and Sane got her a job. Later, he let her stay at his home. The two kept to themselves when they moved into an apartment in the peripheral Mumbai suburbs 3 years ago and used to visit the Ahmednagar ashram regularly.
पहले आई थी ना तो बहुत अच्छे अच्छे कपड़े पहन के आई थी। वो आदमी उसको वाइट गाड़ी में लेके आता था, उसके साथ ही रहता था। लेकिन 2 साल पहले आई थी ना दाखिले के संदर्भ में तो बहुत खराब लग रही थी। उसने हमारे पास बातचीत नहीं की, उसका क्या वजह था हमको मालूम है।
Saraswati Vaidya was killed on Sunday, allegedly after a fight. Sane claimed to the police that she died after consuming poison and he panicked. And so he chopped up her body to dispose it of. The police suspect he was lying to cover up the crime. With Sohit Mishra and Sunil Singh, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Still with Maharashtra, Nationalist Congress Party NCP MP Supriya Sule has called it low-level politics after NCP chief Sharad Pawar and her father received a death threat message. Supriya Sule said that she received a threatening message on her WhatsApp for her father Sharad Pawar. Calling such actions low-level politics, she said these should stop. A delegation of NCP workers led by Supriya Sule met the Mumbai police chief demanding action. Let's move on now. Fresh violence in Manipur has claimed at least 3 lives, including that of a woman. 2 others were injured in the attack by suspected insurgents in Kokan village on Friday, as per army sources. The suspected militants and the victims belong to different communities. Meanwhile, the Central Bureau of Investigation, that's the CBI, has registered 6 first information reports, that's FIRs, and formed a special investigation team as well to probe the alleged conspiracy behind the ethnic clashes in Manipur.
Very disturbing news coming in where 3 people have died in Kokin village. Now, where is this place located? This is located on the boundary areas between Kangpokpi district and Imphal West district. Now, like we've been reporting all through this Manipur conflict, just like the politics in Manipur, which is often played out along the differences between the valley and the hill areas, this ethnic violence too in the state has played out as the distance between the valley and the hill areas have increased. And Kangpokpi is of course in the hills, and it is a place that the Union Home Minister Amit Shah also visited during his 3-day visit to Manipur. And of course at this point we also know that a statement has been issued by the ITLF, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, that said that this is utter disregard shown by the militants. They also say the incident also violated the peace process that was called by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. We urge upon the authorities to take decisive actions against the militants. This is the ITLF statement. Now, residents say that these people came in army fatigues or military fatigues, and additional columns of the army and paramilitary forces have been deployed to control the situation in Kokin village. Now, alongside, there is also a CBI probe. The CBI has registered 6 FIRs. This was of course in line with the announcement the Union Home Minister Amit Shah made in Manipur. He had said that the conspiracy cases will be probed by the CBI. 6 FIRs have been registered. In that context, the CBI of course will investigate these cases. Alongside that, there is also more news from Manipur, and that is of course the centre has announced aid, and this aid of course is 101.75 crores relief package for the people of Manipur who've been displaced. Remember, because of the ethnic violence that's gone on for over a month now, including the internet suspension in the state that's gone on for over a month now, several people are displaced. They're living in camps, and this relief package is aimed at easing the lives of these people who have been displaced from their homes, and this package has been announced by the Union Home Ministry as well. And the last point is that the NEDA chairman and the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma may be visiting Manipur, and he's likely to hold talks with the Chief Minister and Manipur MLAs as well.
Saurabh Gupta there getting us those details. Let's move on now. The Enforcement Directorate, that's the ED, has issued a show cause notices to Xiaomi, the China-based mobile manufacturer, CFO and Director Samir Rao, former MD Manu Jain, and 3 foreign banks for an alleged violation of foreign exchange amounting to over 5,551 crores. Now, the Enforcement Directorate, which operates under the Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA, has been probing Xiaomi Technology India Private Limited, the 2 executives, and the bank entities Citibank, HSBC Bank and Deutsche Bank AG. The Federal Probe Agency had earlier seized 5,551 crore worth of Xiaomi Technology India's funds lying in its bank accounts. Arvind is now joining us with more details. Arvind, what is this case based on? What exactly is the case against them?
Maha, the Enforcement Directorate had initiated a FEMA investigation into the affairs of Xiaomi and few other companies on the allegations that these companies, they had sent a huge remittances to parent companies in foreign jurisdiction, and that's where the agency had initiated a FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act investigation into this particular case. And the Enforcement Directorate had also filed a complaint on this effect, and that's where the adjudicating authority in this particular case under FEMA has issued a show cause notice to Xiaomi and also some banks, asking why shouldn't this particular complaint of the Enforcement Directorate be processed or be taken forward, because Enforcement Directorate has already filed a complaint on this effect, saying that Xiaomi and few other companies had made illegal remittances in the guise of services, wherein without bringing to the knowledge of the authorities to the tune of somewhere around 5,500 crore, and that's where, admitting the case of the Enforcement Directorate, the adjudicating authority under FEMA has issued a show cause notice asking for a response from Xiaomi and few other companies. All
right, Arvind, many thanks for joining us with all those details. Now, the Congress government in Karnataka is looking at ways to review or undo changes to textbooks brought in by the earlier BJP government. Though the government has made it clear that the printed books will not be withdrawn, it says a separate booklet will be sent to all schools, which may have new chapters along with guidelines. The BJP has threatened a protest if chapters related to Savarkar and RSS founder Hegrevar are removed or edited.
Class 1 to 10 school textbooks remain the focus of a political exchange in Karnataka. Congress leader B.K. Hariprasad's comments questioning a chapter on RSS founder Hegrevar as a freedom fighter was the latest flashpoint in a Congress versus BJP battle.
ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯವರಾಗಲಿ ಸಂಘ ಪರಿವಾರದವರಾಗಲಿ ಹೆಡ್ಗೆವಾರ್ ಅವರು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಹೋರಾಟಗಾರರಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರಿಗೆ ಕ್ಷಮಾಪಣೆ ಪತ್ರ 6 ಬಾರಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರದೇ ಆದ ग्रंथಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. चित्रगुप्ता ಅಂತ ಅವರೇ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
It's absolutely wrong. ये उनका एक तरह से नियत है, उनका DNA है कि they want to write off whatever out of history whoever is not part of their dynasty. ये तो उनका एक तरह से एक repeated behavior है ना इनका. हेगडेवार जी के बारे में एक तो इरेज करना या गलत misinformation create करना एक तरह से it is doing a huge disservice. It is a crime against the people of India, the crime against the youth of India.
The issue of inclusion of the chapter on Hegrevar in the textbooks had erupted soon after earlier BJP government took the decision. Along with this chapter, there were other glaring omissions and errors, including on the way the father of the constitution was referred to, or even the reference to revered social reformer Basavanna. Some of these were corrected, but not all. Once the Congress came to power, writers and activists demanded that these changes be undone. According to the state's education minister Madhu Bangarappa, the government will not withdraw the books printed for this year. Rather, a guideline booklet related to which chapters should be taught in these books and which should not be, which will also include if new chapters are added, will be issued. The technical committee is reviewing the syllabus. The recommendation of that committee will be placed before the cabinet this month. The guidelines will be issued only after getting approval from the state cabinet.
One thing I want to make it clear to all the children and even parents also, through all your medias also, and for you also, that this process has been done in the interest of children's future. That is number one.
It's a sensitive issue, and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has reportedly told ministers and Congress leaders not to make statements that could fuel the controversy. In fact, only yesterday, he's learned to have expressed his displeasure to the state's animal husbandry minister, whose comments on the anti-cow slaughter legislation led to protests by the BJP.
The Congress in its poll manifesto had promised to undo changes made to school textbooks when the BJP was in power. Now the process has begun. In Bangalore, with camera person Govind Murthy, Nihal Khidwai for NDTV.
Welcome back. Former US President Donald Trump has been charged over his handling of classified documents after he left the White House. Donald Trump faces 7 charges now, including mishandling classified documents and obstructing efforts to investigate. Though experts say the indictment, the second time that he's been charged with a crime, does not prevent him from running for president again.
I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person.
The first time the US Justice Department has brought federal charges against a former president.
Yes, I did.
Donald Trump has been indicted for storing dozens of classified documents at his Florida resort and refusing to return them to the FBI and the National Archives.
And yet, they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far.
But what exactly are the charges against him? Well, he has been charged with 7 crimes, including willful retention of documents in violation of the Espionage Act, making false statements, withholding a document or record, and corruptly concealing a document or record. While Trump has been summoned to appear in federal court in Miami on Tuesday, Ron DeSantis is already finding himself defending his chief rival, while fellow Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy says if he is elected, he will pardon Trump. Joe Biden dismissed suggestions that a potential indictment of his top 2024 rival by the Justice Department would be politically motivated claiming he was honest.
Mr. President, what do you say to Americans to convince them that they should trust the independence and fairness of the Justice Department when your predecessor, Donald Trump, repeatedly attacks it?
Because you notice, I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge. I'm honest.
But the other big question we're getting is, does a federal indictment prevent Donald Trump from running for president? Well, the United States Constitution does not explicitly prohibit anyone who has been indicted, convicted of a crime, or is currently serving prison time from running for the presidency. This means that in theory, anyone could be elected the president of the United States, regardless of their criminal history. However, there's no clear guidance in the US Constitution on what should happen if such a person wins. One of the biggest unanswered questions remains why Trump would keep government secrets even as he faced increasing legal threats to give them back. Investigators claim Trump may have simply believed the documents were his to keep. Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.
Turning our attention back to India, which is sitting on a health disaster, or so it appears from a Lancet report, which says that over 11% Indians are diabetics, while 35% of people suffer from hypertension.
India is sitting on a diabetes time bomb, according to a decade-long research by Indian Council of Medical Research for Lancet. 3 peninsular states, Goa, Kerala and Puducherry, record the highest diabetes cases. But that's not all. 101 million people in India have diabetes. That's around 11.4% of the population, 31% higher than WHO's 2019 estimate. In fact, 15.3% or 136 million Indians have pre-diabetes, while 39.5% Indians are obese. And at least 35% Indians have hypertension. Over 1 lakh Indians were surveyed from October 2008 to 2020 by ICMR, and the data was extrapolated based on population. Now, which kind of diabetes is prevalent? Type 2 diabetes is the most common form which is prevalent, where people have high blood sugars but are unable to generate enough insulin, a hormone according to the ICMR research. What should you be doing? Watch your lifestyle, including work life and personal life balance, and what you eat. Test regularly if your family has a diabetes history. Better to be on the side of caution. Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
Now, according to a report by the Wall Street Journal, some shocking details coming in. Researchers in the US have found that photo-sharing platform Instagram was promoting an extensive network of pedophile content and allowed users to search child sex through certain hashtags. Meta has responded to this report and promised to improve its system. Arun Singh reports.
A report has highlighted that Instagram is the most important platform for child sex abuse networks. Here are the details. This investigation is done by Wall Street Journal and researchers at Stanford University and the University of Massachusetts Amherst. The biggest finding, Instagram's algorithms links and promotes vast pedophile network. But how? The investigation found that Instagram allowed users to search hashtags related to child sex abuse. These hashtags led users to accounts that offered to sell pedophilic materials and even had videos of children harming themselves. But why is it alarming? An app, a platform, should be restricting these search queries like these. The fact that users can search and can get connected to accounts involved in questionable behavior is a big concern. This is what a Meta spokesperson told NDTV in response. We are committed to continuing our work to protect teens. Between 2020 and 2022, our teams dismantled 27 abusive networks, and in January 2023, we disabled more than 490,000 accounts for violating our child safety policies. As of Q4 2022, our technology removed over 34 million pieces of child sexual exploitation content from Facebook and Instagram, over 98% of which we found before it was reported to us. The report comes at a time when Meta and other social media platforms face scrutiny over their efforts to prevent the spread of abusive content on their platforms. Arun Singh for NDTV.
Well, the new airport at Navi Mumbai is fast taking shape. The first terminal is set to open next year. Here's a special report on the key features of the new airport.
The first phase of one of India's biggest airport projects at Navi Mumbai in India's commercial capital is expected to be operational by December 2024. Terminal 1 of the Navi Mumbai International Airport that opens first by the end of next year will have a capacity of a massive 2 crore passengers, double the original plan. 3 more terminals will open as the airport is likely to be fully operational by 2032. The airport will add to capacity in Mumbai in a big way and decongest the existing airports in the city. It is being built by the Adani Group, whose representatives say both planning and execution have been quite a logistical challenge. After this airport opens, Mumbai will become the first city in India to have 2 international airports. The Navi Mumbai airport will be a boon for several regions around Mumbai. It is at a distance of 35 kilometers from Mumbai airport, 49 kilometers from the iconic Gateway of India, 56 kilometers from Meera Road, 115 kilometers from Pune, 296 kilometers from Ratnagiri and 170 kilometers from Nashik. A statement by a top official in charge of the airport construction said multiple issues have been dealt with, like recoursing a river that was cutting across the site or diverting power lines from a nearby power plant. The northern part of the airport was swampy marine soil which had to be raised to avoid flooding, said the statement, adding that another obstacle was a tall hill with millions of cubic meters of rock in it. The Adani Group said in a statement that the multi-level Terminal 1 will house all modern passenger amenities, including e-gates with facial recognition and other touchless and personalized solutions, enabling seamless navigation and ease of passenger processing. The group will continue to expand the airport in phases to ultimately cater to a massive 9 crore passengers per year and 2.5 million tons of cargo by 2032. The airport will have parking for 5,500 vehicles and will use green energy in a big way. Another exciting feature is that the fully operational airport will have the capacity to operate 42 planes at a time, and driverless coaches will run between its 4 terminals. The airport is being built in the shape of India's national flower, the lotus.
With that, we're taking a very quick break. News and updates will continue. Stay with us.